time that my journey takes is long, and the way of it long. I came out on the chariot of the first gleam of light, and pursued my voyage through the wildernesses of worlds, leaving my track on many a star and planet. It is the most distant course that comes nearest to thyself, and that training is the most intricate, which leads to the utter simplicity of a tune. The traveler has to knock at every alien door to come to his own, and one has to wander through all the outer worlds to reach the innermost shrine at the end. My eyes strayed far and wide before I shut them and said, "Here art thou." The question and the cry, "Oh where?" melt into tears of thousand streams and deluge the world with a flood of the assurance, "I am."
This place is slightly low, and our track is somewhere here. This distance is about 12 miles. 12 miles means about 25 kilometers.
Wanderlust, the burning desire to know the unknowns.
These are the higher peaks.
The desire which has
now
taken
over here
me to the
they've marked
remotest of the remote part of my country, India. This time around, my destination was the lower range of the northeastern part of the Great Himalayas, or to be more precise, West Garo Hills, the land of myths and mysteries, the land which is still on the threshold of the uncivilized and so-called civilized world, the land of one of the ancient-most tribes of the world, the ACHIKS, famously known to the outer world as the Garos. The Garos, who predominantly occupy the lower and the plainer areas of the western portion of the Indian state, Meghalaya, are one of the major tribes of that state. forming roughly 30% of its population. The Garos are of the Tibeto-Burman stock and form many subtribes of the Bodo family. The Garos originally inhabited the hills of Tibet, but because of acute famine in the area, in the remote past, were compelled to seek greener pastures elsewhere. After long 40 years of traveling, they finally reached the fertile lands of the Promised Land, the present Garo Hills, thousands of years ago. Bibhav Sangma, the official guide from the government, who himself is a Garo, has accompanied us to a remote Garo village, Tabakre. It was a long journey from the town Thura, and so we started early. The areas inhabited by the Garos comprised of a number of independent clusters of villages, each cluster forming an Aking land. For centuries, the hilly areas which now form the Garo Hills district has remained divided between the various subtribes. These were the Athongs, Garaganchings, Chiboks, Rugas, Duals, Machiduals, Machis, Matabangs, Avis, Chisaks, and the biggest and the most important of them all, the Ambangs. The village we were heading towards belongs to the Ambangs. At last we have reached the village Tabakre. The Nokma, or the village head, welcomed us
Is the headman
warmly.
of this village Dabakri, is the head and chief of this village.
The people were very simple, and being a city dweller, it was a refreshing change to be in such a calm and serene place. The Nokma took us to his house, the largest one in the village, and offered us chi bichi, and welcome drink made from fermented rice. He also offered us sada, the local cigarette made from maize leaves and some herbs. The Garos have various forms of festivals and ceremonies, and divine rituals that reflect their traditional beliefs. Their religion is not animistic, but they believe that they are presided by a supreme God, the Creator. It is a monotheistic religion, but with certain polytheistic elements of worship. It seems that though it was originally a consummate monotheism, it may have lapsed into a gross polytheistic ritualism in later stages of development. The main and the biggest festival of the Garos is Wangala, or Thanksgiving ceremony to god Misi Saljong and goddesses Minmakiri Rokimi. Wangala, which is the most significant ceremony in the Garo cycle of Jhum cultivation, considered an absolute necessity. It comes after the harvest is over, generally in the months of October or November every year. It is a send-off ceremony to goddess Rokimi and Lord Missy Saljong, who, after the harvest is over, want to go back to their own homelands. Somewhere in the great oceans of the eastern skies, in the abode of the clouds. Requests are also made to the gods and goddesses to come again and bless the land and the chum cultivation the following year. When all the preparations for the festival are over, Nokma fixes the date and accordingly informs the villagers. The young boys and girls get themselves new clothing and other necessaries for this function in order to look prettier and smarter. Everybody seems to be excited as the celebration for Wangala festival draws near. That reflects in their faces the sense of happiness and purity. And by this time they forget all their hard days at work and are ready to celebrate to the fullest. On the day prior to the main festival, the dwelling houses of the people, both outside and inside, are to be decorated with wanchi, or a white paste made out of rice powder, to mark this occasion. They even apply this paste to color themselves. The Garos speak a totally different dialect from the other neighboring tribes, such as Khasis and Jaintias. The Garo language belongs to a subgroup of the Tibeto-Burman language family, which is known as Bodo.